No Ray Nobodies, no Disney Star Wars fans of any kind. I just got in an argument with somebody who is insisting to me that The Last Jedi was a great movie, and I just mocked him and blocked him. I don't waste my time with people like that. Life is too short. It really is, and there, there you go. Talk a little bit today about Heidi Heitkamp on the 19th on Bill Maher's. All right, I'm gonna start this out. All right, Darius, Darius, Darnasy. Sorry. Afternoon, Dakari. Bill Maher's a scumbag. Okay, he's been a well-known scumbag. Any guy who reveres Hugh Hefner to the point of hero worship, hi, is probably a guy, hey, Sin and Dave, is probably a guy I would never allow my daughter to date. Okay, and I sure as hell wouldn't date him. You know, I have friends who are bunnies. I have friends who knew Hugh. They liked him. But that doesn't mean you want to hang out as a woman with a guy like that. Okay? You do business. Not getting naked for a magazine either. Okay. Oh, okay, Jordy. Okay, okay. I don't know what that means. Anyway, so Bill Maher, I think he's a misogynist too. That's my opinion. He's also kind of a hateful guy, but he understands what cancel culture is because back in 2001 after 9/11, and anybody who knows the story of 9/11 from my point of view, I was in DC when it happened. I was right across the river in Arlington, and it was literally, I still can't grasp. I'll never forget a moment of it. I have a photographic memory of that day. Just the people around me, even cabbies. We were walking by, running to our cars. They were like on the streets, going, "What the hell is going on?" You know, the Navy captain coming across the street from the Defense Intelligence Agency, telling us to get the hell out, go home, all the rest of that stuff. And I'll never forget it. Bill Maher said something that was akin, in my opinion, to saying the SS was braver than American soldiers. You know, it's like, you know, you kind of like, are you sure you should be saying something that stupid? And he lost his show on ABC, so he's on HBO saying dickheaded things. He's not, look, here's the deal. The guy dated Ann Coulter, and she thinks the sun rises and sets out of his ass. Okay, he's not very smart. He's loud. He's obnoxious. He's a faux intellectual. La la la. But he understands cancel culture because he got canceled for saying what he said. Well, right to have said, hey, you know, I probably wouldn't have kicked him off of ABC. What I said was, we're gonna cancel the rest of the season. You go sit in the corner and reflect on what you did, and we're also gonna send you to a few military bases that are deploying into Afghanistan. We're gonna send you to Shanksville and Ground Zero and the Pentagon. I would have done that. People like that need to see the reality of what happened. Okay? They need to be shown the truth because people like him don't understand what real courage is. They don't understand the ramifications of what they say. Okay? He's not that clever and he's not that bright. But let's go to what Heidi Heitkamp said. 19th, she's on there now. Little background of her. She lost her Senate bid, I think, to John Thune. I think it was John Thune. Oh, I thought it was awful. I mean, you were an ex-British Marine? Gosh, Rudy knew plenty of you guys. Yeah, I'm not kidding. We should talk sometime about that. Um, when she got beaten, I think it was John Thune. I don't know. Maybe you guys can do a Google search. I think, and I don't think he just beat the shit out of her. He beat the shit out of her. I mean, it was like, oh my God, she got slaughtered. And she's kicking around right now as a contributor, which means she shows up on ABC attacking Donald Trump and America because she's a left wing. I don't know how, I mean, between us, how that woman ever get elected to the Senate in South Dakota, I can't understand. Because she belongs either in Los Angeles or New York, tag teaming with, Feinstein or AOC. She's horrible. She's an idiot too. But you gotta remember, what I'm about to say is the extent of the intelligence of a certain type of Democrat woman. Okay, they're not smart. They react. They're fanatic about killing babies. They're fanatical about hating men, and they're fanatical about their politics. So anyway, she gets on there and calls Gina Carano a Nazi. I think she did it. She did it out of her own volition. I know there's some questioning about how she, where did she get that? Was it spur of the moment thing? And was she told to say something like that? I don't think it matters. Okay, I really don't. She's just a bad person. Okay, because you gotta understand is I know people. I know those women, and they do say shit like that about conservative women all the time. So Heitkamp attacking Gina Carano as a Yahtzee is no shock to me. I've had women in my own family call me that. I'm like, I'm more liberal than you are. You know? All right, well, okay, because it's true. Okay, these people are basically left-wing Victorians. That's what they are. And discussing if now Gina has a stance or a cause to sue. Gina responded, went after her and squashed her like a bug. And I would say that she'll probably sue her, and I wouldn't blame her. And I think Bill Maher would be like, and I think maybe Bill Maher let the bitch hang herself too, because he didn't really say a lot. But I think maybe he did. Because I gotta tell you something. Sharon Stone came out and basically said that cancel culture was awful and people have the right to say what they want to say. Scarlett Johansson did too. You're starting to see other Hollywood celebrities trickle in saying, gotta stop this shit. I fully expect to see, now I'm gonna tell you guys something. If the person's named Tom Hanks and says that, or Steven Spielberg and says that, or dare I say Harrison Ford, and he might, because, hey, John 42, I mean, that would be, I would love that. They would be dead. Because then it would be like the people who actually kind of run the social hive are now like, you guys all need to stop. Because I gotta tell you something. The people that do the cancel culture are not part of that group. They're not. Meryl Streep comes out and says, stop it. And she very well could. If you remember, I made a video 2 years ago about her basically complaining about the way men are treated now. She has sons. She doesn't want them to grow up in a world where their masculinity isn't valued. She might have something to say. Okay, I'll tell you something. The world misses Carrie Fisher right now because Carrie Fisher would have said something. Okay, hey Trayla, so we're starting to see a trickling effect. I think if Gina sues and it looks like she's gonna win, I think you're gonna see a lot of this shit shut down. But like I said, I don't think Twitter is long for this world. And I think it's, as Jason Hunt over at Sci-Fi For Me said today, cancel culture will just implode because they go after each other. I don't want to wait that long. I want to shut them down. You know, it's, this shit's got to end. It really, really does. Oh, I do too. I think she should. I think she has grounds for it. I'm not a lawyer, but if it was me, I'd be on the phone with a lawyer saying, "All right, you're a lawyer that does this. Do you know anybody who does civil cases like slander, defamation? Really good one. You know, I need to talk to him. I might have need of them. Because I've got a really good lawyer, but he doesn't do that stuff. He's a Second Amendment lawyer. Basically, he takes cases to court. Well, Scott Baio's Scott Baio. Let me tell you something. There's a place where conservatives go in Hollywood when they get blacklisted, and it's where Scott Baio is. It's where Kevin Sorbo is. And there's a way to avoid it. Tom Selleck has avoided it. Kurt Russell's avoided it. There's a way to avoid them. And there's also a way, while you're avoiding them, to attack them. Kurt Russell's done it quite a bit. Call yourself a libertarian, independent. They don't know what to do with that. They don't know what a libertarian is. Libertarians are liberals. Okay? The people who call themselves liberal, who lean Democrat, are not even close. Okay? The word liberal does not mean what these people think it means. All right? So there's that. There's, and you don't want to be in the conservative ghetto. You don't. Okay? You want to be able to work. You want to be able to entertain people. And you want to be able to have some clout. And, Tom Selleck has got, that CBS show. It's pretty good, that cop show. Kurt Russell is, he does a lot of work with Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino, basically told China when they wanted him to edit Once Upon a Time in Hollywood to fuck themselves. Because he had Bruce Lee getting beaten up. Blue Bloods, yeah. He had Bruce Lee getting beaten into the ground by Brad Pitt, his character. And, oh, you can't do that. No, that's bad. And Quentin Tarantino's like, fuck you, I'm not changing that. These people don't understand it, that Indiana Jones is right when the guy at the scimitar was freaking out at him and he just shot him. That's what an American would do. I'm done. Anyway, what else did I want to talk about? We still have the Jon Favreau rumor out there. The guys at Midnight's Edge mentioned it, that he was basically saying, I want full control over The Mandalorian and all the other shows around it. I really do think that when Kennedy leaves, Gina will come back. I really think that cancel culture is at the end of it. Yeah, well, John Voight, he doesn't make much, doesn't do very many movies anymore. He's a great guy, and he changed a lot, I think, from when he was a kid. But anyway, so we'll have to see about that. But I'm going to be doing something with another channel. I want you guys to know, so you guys can get kind of excited. I'm not going to tell you. I'll announce it in the community pages here. I'm also doing a music video to We're Not Gonna Take It, and I gotta finish it, but I'll post it publicly or unlisted, and I'll send the link out to people so they can share it. We're gonna discuss the financial stuff with Disney, the fan backlash, Raylo's incompetent leadership at Disney and Lucasfilm, and what needs to happen. I mean, that's what I want to talk about. I don't know what they want. I'm gonna have to pass this thing I worked on right here to to them to see what they think. Uh, you know, the Raylos, you can't find anything on. It's really weird. If you try to find like pictures like of them together, I think it's going to be defamation. And you know, people calling. I mean, I think Drunk 3PO actually has a lawsuit. He calling him a Yahtzee and an alt-right guy. It's like calling my dog a cat. It's like, what? You know, you can't do that. You really, really can't. It's wrong. But with this cancel culture shit, and these two are Raylos. I lost a Twitter account to them because you guys have to understand, if you're new here, I hate them. I hate them. I hate them so much, I can't even. They contributed a lot to my disgust over Adam Driver. I don't like the guy anyway, but they have turned him into some sort of a demigod. It's like, blah, God, my dog's butthole looks better than him. He's an overrated actor. I mean, and I'll tell you something. Women like that, and I've seen them up close and personal over another actor. They're dangerous. They're dangerous to themselves. They're dangerous to their families. They drive people away. It's called erotomania. And, I don't care if they do. Sue them anyway. Sue them anyway. Sue them for pay the lawyer's fees and court fees. I would put them, look, it's a wussy's way out as far as I'm concerned. All right? It would end this shit right now if he did that. Okay? He's doing it probably because he doesn't have the money to do it. Oh God, Jason Momoa's, he looks like he smells. Maybe if Henry Cavill was, or, Keanu Reeves, I could see that, but, all right. Steph has rules for guys. I don't want to see tattoos. Oh, I remember him. Yeah, I went off on him. I went off on him. And the reason why is because I saw that, I remember him. The problem is this, and this is my problem with them. They have an idea that everything that we loved about Star Wars should be destroyed for them. They don't understand that it needs to be a continuing story. Okay, it's not the Skywalker saga and then fucking Raylo. And then Raylo, by its nature, destroys everything that came before it. Han and Leia's relationship, it destroys. Anakin and Padme, it destroys. I'll be that. I'll come back to that one about Darth Helen. It destroys Luke. It destroys Anakin's story. I mean, it's basically a ship about a bunch of angry, bitter, old hags. And this guy who, I mean, I posit this. This guy, does he hate his father? Yes. Hate his mother? Yes. Does he feel left out of everything? Yes. Why did he come up with this Raylo thing? Because he actually hates Star Wars. Okay, he doesn't know anything about romance. Doesn't realize that Raylo, if anything, is the most forced fed fucking thing in the history of Star Wars. Okay. I've had people say that Padme and Anakin were forced. Well, if you give the sequel, the prequels a chance, it's not. You can see it coming. You know, and then the people going, oh, little boy and this girl. Well, little boys at the age of 9 have crushes on girls that are a few years older. Okay, that's just what happens. I mean, y'all know Hot for Teacher, right? The song by Van Halen? Duh. That's actually based on real issues that guys have when their teacher is a young, mid 20s to early 30s. She might be middle aged, but hot. And they're not thinking about their homework because their hormones are going everywhere. Teenage boys are weird. All right. There's absolutely nothing forced about Anakin and Padme. And there's sure as hell nothing forced about Han and Leia. That's as organic as it comes from because it just fits in the story. B, you couldn't have had two better actors because they really did care about each other. Oh, Anakin and Padme were perfect. You know, she, the thing about it is, and what I hate about what Disney's done is they completely ignore her. I mean, you've got that E.K. Johnston dumpster fire series of books about the Queen. Cindy Dave, see, I'm right. But who cares about that? I want stuff about Luke and Leia learning about their mother, I think. There's nothing about that. There's that was like, you talk about women at Disney. You talk about empowering girls, Kathleen Kennedy, then you fuck up Padme and the search for her through her children. I don't get that, Dakari. I mean, and I don't care about how many different kinds of people are in the movie. And the reason simply is this. It looks like it's not forced. There's lots of theories out there going, oh, they moved Kenobi over to the U.S. to disrupt, Mandalorian season 3, and they're taking their place, and it's 6 episodes. It's not KK. I don't actually think that she has anything to do with it. For fuck's sake, does anybody ever think? Automatically, if you see a diverse cast, oh my God, they're shoving SJW shit on us. Stop it. Right now. You haven't seen the show. And I'll tell you something else. If you're really, really, really familiar with Indira Varma, oh, you're right. You're right. She has MS. Do you be happy to know that she played Niobe in the TV series Rome? She was playing a Roman woman. If you look at her, she passes for Italian or Spanish, Native American even. Okay? So please, stop it. Yeah, Bad Batch is only 4. And I think the reason why is because they're going to have that actually bleed into Rangers of the New Republic. But, to sit there and cry that the cast is quote unquote diverse, the only characters that I was worried about, Obi-Wan, Beru, and Owen. And guess what? Beru and Owen from the prequels are coming back. Oh, and Hayden Christensen. All the people that we remembered that were white are back. Okay? And Indira Varma, I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what the problem is with anybody else. There have been black men in Star Wars before. Samuel L. Jackson and Billy D. Williams. Oh, and what's his face? Who plays Saw Gerrera in Rogue One? You know, if it's done right and it looks like it's gonna be done right, I don't care. You know, I don't care. The key roles that are supposed to be a certain way are a certain way, to the point where the original actors are playing them. Okay, it's not like they decided to turn Owen Lars into an Asian trans woman. Forrest Whitaker, yeah, you're right. You know, so don't. Okay, just don't. Okay, we got a lot more shit to unpack before. You know, we gotta make sure that the script isn't woke, that the story is good. We're probably gonna meet a young Luke, 10-year-old Luke Skywalker. You know, you know, it it's really interesting to me. It's gonna be very. I mean, I'll probably end up watching Bad Batch. But I do want to tell you guys something. And this is a shout out to anybody at Lucasfilm who happens to watch this who's unhappy with Kennedy. You're right, I'm at best play Jar Jar. If you really want to affect change at Lucasfilm, by all means, please get a hold of Project Veritas. Okay? Talk to them. Okay? And the reason is this: they can get a lot of stuff done. They can affect, a lot of change. If it's change you want. Okay? I'm not going to say why I'm saying this, but you really should think about it. Okay? It's not enough for Doomcock and Midnight's Edge and Jason Hunt and, Clumfish TV and their contacts. You need to go to someone who's not in the middle of the fight to get your word out, to show what's really going on. Because I'd like to see someone trap Pablo Hidalgo. I'd like to see them connected to rewriting Ripley. Because I'll tell you something. If you were to do that, the investors would have a heart attack. And then we wouldn't have to sit around and wait, twiddling our fingers. We would see everything just gone. Okay? All you gotta do is get Hidalgo or Kennedy herself saying something really shitty and connecting herself or himself to rewriting Ripley. Because then that opens them up to being sued. All right? That's all that needs to happen. I'm saying that right now. I'm saying that here right now. So please, if you are from Lucasfilm and you're looking for a way to talk to somebody outside that can help you get a hold of Project Veritas. They have done more for getting the facts out there than anybody. Okay? And, you can be a left-wing liberal, but if you don't like what they're doing to Star Wars and you see these people harming the company, why do you sit around? Why do you sit around? Why do you do nothing? Why don't you do something? Don't be afraid. You can get a job anywhere. Anyway, what are you guys talking about? Anyway, so all right, that's one thing. Anyway, today I was watching Ready Player One, because Tom mentioned it, said he didn't like it. I like it. And the reason is this. If you watch it, um, if you watch it, you're going to notice something. Michael Rylance plays James Halliday. James Halliday is a very nerdy, geeky, quiet, socially awkward, brilliant genius. Kind of sound familiar to a lot of us? Who changed the world. Does he sound really familiar now? When I started watching it, I kind of made the connection to George Lucas. His buddy, Ogden Morrow, very straight-laced, very socially apt, not inept, who ended up getting kind of screwed over and leaving the company. I could look at that and say that, I mean, that could be compared to Rick McCallum, who, weirdly enough, left under cover of a night from Lucasfilm before George sold to Disney. Okay, now, if Rick McCallum had stayed and become president of Lucasfilm, we might not be sitting here having the conversations we're having. Could look at him and think Rick McCallum, or Gary Kurtz, or maybe Steven Spielberg himself. Just, I mean, you gotta watch the movie to understand. This movie always tweaks the English lit minor. When I graduated college, I was 6 credits shy of being a double major in history and English. And then you got Wade, or Z, who's basically every fan. Pop culture nut, la-di-da. Then you got the bad guy, Nolan Sorrento. When you see him, he bears a weird resemblance to Bob Iger. But when you see him in a flashback, he bears a strange resemblance to Kathleen Kennedy. Because he starts talking to Holiday about levels and all the rest of the stuff, and Holiday's going, go back and remember, Kathy can do a really good cup of coffee, and she has a bad habit of interrupting people. You know, I think an IOI is Disney. It's Disney. Grabbing every goddamn thing they can find, not giving a shit about it. All right. Look at this Aleros stuff. Do you think they didn't take Lucasfilm on respect to GL, or there was something more? There was something more naive that ended up darker behind KK. I think I have a theory. I think because George is George, and there are times when he's just impossible to get along with, and mad geniuses are like that. You have to just. That's him. That's what he does. Que sera, sera. And here's the deal. If you think about that, what happened? And McCallum just given up. I think McCallum knew that he'd been outmaneuvered by Kennedy, and he just said, "Fuck it." All right. At the time, I don't think George felt like he had any reason not to trust Kennedy. But from what people who worked at Lucasfilm said about Rick McCallum, is you couldn't get anything stupid past him. He would go, "No, that sounds like, get that the hell out of here." Okay. It was obvious to me that he was the heart and soul with George. He was George's right hand. And when he left and, Kennedy got elevated, but also, she was also I think at the time dual president with George. So that might have actually had a lot. God, yeah, I think she probably had everything to do with driving him off. He should have been leader of Lucasfilm, not Kennedy. And now I think about it, everybody fucking knows that. But as far as what was that question? Orsinas, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I think Jon Favreau, who is the fan, is going to. I think that's where this is heading. More and more people, like yesterday, they were talking about it on Midnight's Edge. More and more people are talking about it. More and more people are saying, we don't know what's really going on here. Did Jon Favreau really say that? And I posited this out there, and I didn't get shot down for it. That they're waiting for Kennedy to go to bring Gina back. I would not doubt that at all. And the people saying, "Oh no, she won't come back," she'll come back. You guys don't understand how this works. She wants to work in Hollywood. She's not going to be put in the conservative ghetto with Scott Baio and Kevin Sorbo and the rest of those people. No, she's going to be out there doing her thing and making stuff for everybody. And no one's going to care. Yeah, she will, Sakori. Oh, I know it is. And I know. And they've got a bot taking your comments down. The only ones that aren't being taken down are her quotes or the quotes from the Forbes article. I feel sorry for Kevin Sorbo. The guy, the guy gets treated like shit. I mean, I'll tell you, there are conservatives in Hollywood that do get good parts. Hey, Demanchai, Jim Caviezel. He was everybody. Shout out to Demanchai. He's one of my guys. He's one of my boys. Jim Caviezel was told by Mel Gibson when he took the role of Jesus Christ in The Passion, you take this role, they're going to hate you. He hasn't, it's not like he hasn't worked. He still gets work. He's not as big a star as he should have been. He should have been nominated for an Academy Award for The Passion, but they weren't going to do that. Let me explain. There are a lot of lefty Jews who are huge anti-Christian bigots. Okay. And part of the reason why The Passion was so vilified in Hollywood and why Mel got so pilloried is because of them. They're not educated enough to understand that the guy in Germany back in the 30s who did all that really bad shit wasn't a Christian himself. He was a pagan. Now, if you're a pagan, don't get pissed off at me for stating historical facts. Just because you're raised a Catholic doesn't mean you are a Catholic. All right? If you're a Catholic and you support abortion, you're not a Catholic. If you're a Catholic and you support other amoral things, you're not a Catholic. You can't pick and choose the teachings. You take it all. Very funny story. You take it all, or you don't take any of it. You want to be a liberal Christian, Methodist Church, right there. Go find a liberal one. It's not the best I can do, okay? Because none of my priests will tolerate that stuff, and rightly so. And the whole line about judge not lest you be judged, that quote is taken out of context. When you read the whole passage, it's like, judge righteously. Okay? Don't judge someone if you've got skeletons in your own closet. Okay? I mean, when I see a girl acting out and being kind of I'll put it bluntly, a hoe, and she's kind of sad and miserable and mixed up, it's like, don't live like that anymore. I'm not judging her. I'm telling her, stop doing that. All right, bad behavior, bad personal behavior, isn't just a quote unquote sin to the rest of the world. It's sin against yourself. Okay? And you should think about that. If it cuts on your human dignity, you should think about that. Okay? If it cuts on your female dignity, you should think about that. If it cuts on your male dignity, you should think about that. Okay? I mean, you know, I know a lot of guys, they want it cheap and easy sometimes, kind of like a Big Mac. Well, I don't know any self-respecting woman who wants to be treated like a Big Mac. And having sex indiscriminately, like Cardi B, doesn't make you powerful. It makes you a slut. It makes you a whore. Period. Full stop. I got no time for people like that. And I got no time for people who sit there and say, well, you can't judge me. I'm not judging you. I'm asking you why you're hurting yourself. Okay? Because all the things you think you're getting out of this, you can't take them with you. You can't take them with you. And let's see, Jeremy just posted that YouTube wants to hide dislikes. I know why, so they can hide the ratio in videos like Kennedy's Oscar video. Go ahead. Do it. And we know why you're doing it. Fuck off. It's just stupid. Oh, and I gotta say this. Jeremy the Quartering did talk to the lawyers or the people at Thanks Senator Dave at YouTube. It was a very good conversation. And they're not gonna get these guys deplatformed. All right. I don't think Ethan, Jeremy, and the rest are gonna go anywhere. It's stupid to get over dramatic about these people. I mean, you got two Raylos with a very long 70 page research paper written by probably Michelle Buckman. Yeah, I'm calling the bitch out. Without any proof, because I know she did it. Look, this hits piece came from inside Lucasfilm. I know it did. I don't need proof. I know it did. It'd be really, really nice if Project Veritas could get someone to talk or someone inside Lucasfilm targeted into saying it. Because all hell would break loose. Oh, you goddamn right. I tell you what, like I said, you get Pablo Hidalgo saying, yes, we were part and parcel to that hit piece. Yes, we are behind rewriting Ripley. Yes, we are connected. This is our project. They're gone. Period. It's shut down. The investors will be going, what the fuck? That's how you get them. That's how you get them. Okay? It's the only way to get them, is to get one of them to open up their damn traps. On tape, on video. Okay? I can't believe no one's actually gone ahead and tried to contact those guys. All right? I really, really can't. But, all right, what else were we talking? Oh, drama, fan backlash. We've all been fans of Star Wars for a long time, right? All of us. And we have loved it. The hero's journey, Luke, Han, Leia, Anakin, Padme, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, Yoda, Mace, all of them, all the characters. I find it deplorable that there's a group of fans, Raylos, who sit there telling us we don't count, everything that we loved has to be destroyed for everything they love. I've said this before, I'll say this again. It is the most selfish thing I've ever witnessed. destroying what we love about Star Wars in order to have what they love. Destroying the very heart and soul of it because they don't understand it, because they're actually not fans. Those two girls, Kate and Lady V, they're not Star Wars fans. They got the hots for Adam Driver. You know, I don't know why. Like I said, my dog's butthole is better looking than he is. You know, Disney condoned it by not cracking down on it, by kind of giving into him, by not defending Driver when his wife was being abused, when his kid was being threatened. They are, but they're worse. Look, I've said this before, I'll say this again. When I helped put that fan event for that actor together, and this was women my age, okay? I never saw so much weirdness in my life. And I have to admit, I got caught up into it. As my bad. Okay? What's that? Alright, I gotta take off my glove. Dog's butthole. Oh, I would have done that too. I mean, here's the deal. I don't think it would have even happened if it had stayed on Tumblr. But because they don't, alright. These women mistake sex for romance. Okay. And everything that they create is driven by the fact that they have never had sex in their lives. So we all get the bullshit end of the stick, okay, with all this. We're the ones that get shit on. We're the ones that see what we loved destroyed so they can dry hump Kyle Ron's leg through Ray. These women run around saying that, oh, they're for strong women. They're not for strong women. You look at their art. It's bondage, it's subservience, it's degrading to the character of Ray. They don't know what romance is. Yeah, they're basically female incels. They are. I mean, and like I said before, these two girls from Rewriting Ripley are attractive. They're not ugly. Well, one is kind of fat and dumpy, but the other one's not a bad-looking girl. Just stop it. Again, you're hurting yourselves by being so fucking obsessed. God, when I was a teenager, I wasn't this obsessed with Harrison Ford or Patrick Swayze, whoever else I had the hots for. Joe Elliott of Def Leppard. Femcells, yeah. And I'm like, I can't understand why this is tolerated by a company like Disney when they're not making any money from it. You can't tell me that these people bought enough books from the High Republic to make it worthwhile. It didn't. I know it didn't. You can't tell me that they sold enough Kyle Ron dolls to make it worthwhile to make them. Okay, Arsenis, what's that? What is that? I don't get it. You can't tell me that. They didn't. I mean, if Jeremy's right, those two girls don't have a pot to piss in. I would still sue them. The reason why I would sue them is because Discovery. All right? That's why I would sue them. I want to know who's behind them. And the idea he's backing off is It's not them you want. It is the people who put them up to it. This is why I would be going after them. Okay? I think there is discovery in libel cases and in defamation. I do. And if there is, I would have, those two girls, I'd be like, look, here's the deal, ladies. I'd have my lawyer say, you can tell us who put you up to it because we know you didn't do it on your own. Who put you up to it? And they have the sword of Damocles, which is the court saying you owe X amount of money for lawyers' fees and court fees. They can't afford that. So they have it like this. Or they give up whoever who's got more. Then you go after that person. Okay, because then you have proof through evidence, because then you'll have the evidence there. IP addresses, emails, tweets, DMs, whatever. You know, there's no reason not to do that. You know, now, if discovery isn't part of a defamation suit, and I think it should be. Yeah, well, EVS doesn't need to represent himself. I would send him a letter to get to his P.O. box saying, are you out of your mind? He can afford a lawyer. He has a lawyer. Crying out loud. Yeah, and he should be the one to do this. You know, my thing is, I don't give a fuck. Look what people like them have done to Star Wars. Now they're smearing and libeling and slandering and defaming people. Because we didn't like a fucking movie. Wrap your minds around that one. Wrap your cerebral cortex around that. We didn't like The Last Jedi and hate the sequel trilogy because it sucks. So instead of accepting and going, okay, you know, they defame, they bully, they slander, they dare to deplatform people, all because we didn't like their fucking movie. It's like a goddamn religion. Well, I tell you, do I think it could? If there is discovery and you know, let's say like I was listed and I said, fuck it. I mean, I told my husband if I was on this, we'd be suing. This is bullshit. I'm not gonna tolerate this. Because I know what those words mean. They don't. I do. And I don't like being called something I'm not. Over a fucking movie. Alright? That they dare say, well, it's for kids. Then why are you including sexuality and everything when it never was before? If it's for kids. See where that goes? They don't have a leg to stand on. I would tell my lawyer, that's what I want. I want to know who really put them up to this. And I want to know why they did it. I want to know how far this goes. Okay, you know, you get the judge says, okay, the lawsuit can go through. We're now in the discovery phase. So, Mr. Lawyer, we'll call him Clint, gets the evidence, gets me on the phone and saying, do you know anything about a guy named Pablo Hidalgo? Well, he's got emails everywhere. Then there's a girl that used to be blah, blah, blah at Lucasfilm named Michelle Buckman. and she's the one that wrote the article. They get dragged into the suit. Matt Martin and anybody else who was coordinating with these girls. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Okay. Then Disney has to come in and say, we're disavowing any of this. They're fired. They would cut ties like that. Hey, you know what? Look, have you seen any of their tweets? Have you seen these two? My dog is smarter than they are. Of course, he's a shepherd, but still, you're talking about two human beings in their early 20s. Maybe they're in their mid 20s. Hell, maybe they're in their 30s. But they are old enough to fucking know better. And they are obsessed to the point of, I think, they should be hospitalized over a guy who doesn't give a shit about them. And they've caused massive amounts of trouble for everybody, you know? I mean, I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, the hour's almost up. I'm done. I gotta take the dog out, walk him. So I'll see you guys later. Anything happens, it's almost 3 right now. Anything happens, I'll let you know. I'll be back. This is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.